last week. So it's mine and Lynn's turn.
Yes, sir.
Even though he got to watch Blake kill one, that's fine.
Still, you got to see one die.
Got to see one die.
You
So,
got to see one die.
but as you saw last night, we got birds roosted and gobbled right here outside of camp. And we've got a food plot, a big clover food plot that Andy and Lynn had the camera on. Birds been showing up. We checked the camera last night. There was started out as 3 or 4 Longbeards,
yeah.
and it looks like they started breaking up the closer it got to season. And there's definitely one staying steadily coming through.
Yeah, he's coming through just about every day, coming into the food plot. So me and Matt's gonna go and sit there, and you boys are heading for the forest, I guess, the national forest.
Yes. Luckily, Lynn got here before Andy and I, and actually went and door knocked on the neighbor up here and asked for permission if we, just asked to let him know that we were in here hunting in case he hunted, not to be, just letting him know if hearing gunshots. But the gentleman allowed us to access his property as well, which is another, I think, 60, 70 acres right here behind his house, which also joins the national forest. So Andy and I are kind of peel off that way and head up into the national forest, I think, and see if we can't get on one. But y'all kind of got it made. Got a bird roosted right above the food plot.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
Literally could fly down in your lap.
He could, and I hope he does.
So I'm tired.
Andy was the only one that slept last night.
I mean, that couch is
My
rough.
sinuses, I got a headache. So
We're feeling real good this morning, confident. So
Hey, but it's opening morning in Alabama. Can't get much better than that, right?
we get to go hunt turkeys today.
That's it.
So what else
Awesome,
we
man.
got?
He beat that.
I'm at. Figured I'd get you on here too.
Can't miss me. I'm sitting over here learning.
He's so pretty. You better get him on me.
He is.
This
I know there's at least 2 of you sleeping good because there's 2 of you snoring at the same time.
Andy did enough snoring for everybody.
I don't snore.
You
All
did
right.
snore.
Never
Hard.
heard himself.
Y'all got to get set up in the
Yeah,
food
we
plot
gotta go.
before they go. So good luck.
Bye, boys.
Good luck.
Good luck. Lynn, don't miss.
Just hope there's opportunity.
Yeah.
Just like Andy and I had talked about, since Lynn got permission, we knew this neighboring property. We could see it on the map. He has a logging road that runs up above where Lynn and Matt were going, and these birds are pretty much, we kind of got these birds in between us and them. So with this wind, there's a good chance these birds are going to go downhill because it's pretty windy up here on top. I'll say this, I'm glad Andy has his Cherry Classic Crystal, because I don't know that a mouth call is going to carry very far. And I don't have any slates or box calls because I was well prepared.
It's my favorite call in the world.
It is your favorite call, and I agree, it sounds really good, so I'm not going to hate on it. So we're going to sit here. We've come to the edge of a clearing, looks like a field that wraps around the side of this ridge, and we just don't want to push into there too far because they heard birds, we heard birds from camp, but there's no telling what we didn't hear that was farther back in here. So we're going to sit here till daylight and see if one doesn't gobble, and then we'll just kind of work our way back around to the back side here. So should be a good morning.
Sounds like a plan, man. Open day.
Opening day. It should be. I mean, besides the wind,
Here we go.
I'm here for it. Scratching my head because we're kind of baffled. I mean, first day of season, you just expect to hear gobbles.
Especially when there's crows.
Crows.
Like crazy.
We know there was birds in here. We got trail cam pics. We had
2
2 or
or
3
3
gobbled last night. So it's just, expectations were kind of high. And life had other plans for us. Or the turkeys had other plans for us. We've just been kind of walking this logging road, and we've seen tracks, and On one side, the neighbor that gave us permission to hunt, it's all burned and looks good and starting to green up. And then on our typical side is where they usually roost, and then we've got clover food plots down in the bottom where Lynn's set up. Just silence, and that's okay.
Maybe we'll hear a boom from Lynn here
I know. I mean, if you're gonna deer hunt them, that's a good spot to be. But we're gonna ease on down and probably get at least over this next ridge. We've been seeing tracks, and they've been getting, the farther back in here we get, the fresher they're getting. So we'll see. Maybe has to set up and actually start throwing some hen yelps. We've thrown a few out there. We hit the crystal once, but we may just have to go set up and sit tight, hope that one fires up mid-morning. Andy and I, Lynn heard, what'd you say, 4 or 5 feet? Two or three gobbles this morning. We didn't hear a bird, but we've come to another piece of the farm that we have permission on, and we were riding in, and we actually saw a hen go across a clover food plot. And we know the gentleman that leases it, he's got food plots out this ridge and behind me here. So we're just kind of on a scouting mission, honestly. We're just gonna see if there's any sign out here. We've obviously already seen a turkey. We've seen scratchings driving in, so we're feeling pretty good about this farm, actually. We may have to start here in the morning, but we're gonna ease up here and just kind of check it out and see what we can see on the sign. And just wait out the evening. And we start around the corner and Andy grabs me. They're in the food plot. Andy threw some yelps. He hammered. I don't know what they're doing, but we just sat down as soon as we could. If they come, they're coming right down the road. And we'll be looking hard. I mean, it's just tough when you come up on them like that to even get them to come back. And I'm probably hot as in the sunlight, but when you booger them like that, they sure don't want to gobble or anything like that. But we've got our buddy's coming in. He's pulling all his deer stands out of here. He's giving up this lease this year, so this will be our last year to hunt it. But they're on a side by side. They're coming back in here to pull stands. So our game plan is we're gonna go back to camp, get some lunch, hang out, and get back in here about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock this evening after it's kind of calmed down, and hunt these birds, and especially roost them this evening, because I mean, there's so much sign in here, there's no reason we shouldn't be here in the morning. But we're just gonna go ahead and get out of here and let them get their stands. I got so much stuff to carry. All right, we got him roosted last night. Andy and I are back out here, and it is like 20 after 5. We're trying to get in here super early because the hens and him kind of split up, or we thought they did, right there at dark last night. And he gobbled 4 times on a limb, so we're gonna try to get right in the middle, in between them. But we gotta be early to do that, because, I mean, we're gonna be in there tight. So we're gonna ease down through here and try to get set up without getting busted. Ready? Good luck. All right, we have a slight dilemma. And I don't know if he was still in the ground last night or it was calmer last night when he gobbled. But it sounds like he's actually probably a good 200 yards off the food plot. I mean, you can probably see right over my shoulder, just to the right of the cedar, straight back in there. But the dilemma is these pines that have been logged and stuff like that over the years. It's wide open. So trying to make a move on this bird is going to be rather tricky until he hits the ground. But you also run the risk of him being quiet at that point. So, we either take off and try to get around up above him and get in the woods with him and play hide and seek. But like Andy said, you can see there's briars and stuff. I mean, where it's thick, it's growed up, and these turkeys they know where they're going. Me and Andy, we don't. So we set up in one wrong spot, he hangs up at 70 yards because of these briars.
Or we get in the wrong spot and he circles us and gets out here.
And gets up here to the food plot, and we can't get up here. A lot of ifs and buts, and you know, one of us is supposed to play the devil's advocate, but it seems like both of us play the devil's advocate. I mean, he's
pretty well done.
I think he's in the bottom, and I think last night he had to be on the ground when he was going away, and gobbling going away from us, away from the food plot.
I think that's a decoy. He's a little closer.
I think so. I'm with you. I think he's in that thicker pines right there. He's across. So we're gonna act like what we did this morning just didn't happen, because we're sitting right back where we were as we started. We bailed off and went over the hill. Bird went gobbling. We went to chasing, which he answered us 3 or 4 times. And then he went silent when he hit the ground. Wouldn't answer us. So after about 20 minutes, Andy threw an owl hoot out, and he gobbled like beside us, like he was coming up to the food plots. So we made a mad dash and got over the hill and came running up through here and got set back up. But there is another food plot they can go to that's out towards the front of the property. The draw that they're in runs right up to it. So we're gonna be patient. He's not really talking much
At all.
at all. So we're gonna sit here, be patient, and do turkey hunt in the way that we hate the most.
Deer hunt style.
Deer hunting style. It is? Well, how am I gonna kill that thing? Are you on it? You on him? I had to shoot that bird left-handed.
Of course I jump.
Oh, I aren't used to shooting left-handed. That was.
He's a Longbeard.
I don't even know how to explain what happened. We got caught. We got caught with our britches down.
Way to go, bud.
We started off this whole hunt right here on this tree, and literally birds gobbled. I mean, they're across on that knob, you know, 200 yards from us. So we thought, you know, we'd be fancy and go after them, knowing good and well they're coming up here to these clover food plots. And we get back here and sit down, and Andy says, "Can you see the lower food plot?" And he stands up, and about that time, the two birds that have been gobbling that I was calling to just then that fired up stepped out right there, and they caught us. I mean, I don't think they, you know, I don't think it was the decoys. I think it was us. And they worked back over the hill, and we started calling. They started hammering, and we heard one hen cut. They gobbled, and we look up. Sounds like they're going away from us, and Andy says, "There's a hen coming in the field." And I was like, "Man, it's got a red head. It's got to be a Jake." And he's got the camera up a little bit higher than I am. He said it's got a long beard. And so I did what any man would do and switched to my left arm and pulled the trigger.
First Alabama bird.
First Alabama bird.
Way to go, bud.
Andy just made me shoot a super Jake. He did. He made me shoot a super Jake. Yep. 2-year-old. Man, he didn't gobble. Well, I don't know, man. He may be a bigger bird. Look at how black, jet black they are. How thick.
That's a good bird.
That's not a bad bird. He just ain't got a beard.
He's got a very big beard. Plastered.
Left-handed at that, baby. But dang, look how black. But I mean, he isn't a big bird.
That's why I thought his hand would come out.
But he coloration on his head, he was not in the mood for any of that.
No, he wasn't.
But he just wanted to be up here in this clover. Good hunt, dude. Honestly, Andy and I have just been standing in this food plot for the past like 5 minutes after killing this bird.
Called your dad.
Called my dad. He always wants updates. So I try to call him as much as I can. He gets mad and calls me when I don't call him. So after every kill, I usually call him. But we've just been standing here talking about what we did wrong. but we did everything right. I mean, you know, just getting caught standing up, trying to, you know, it just goes to show you, you know, the grass isn't always greener. We're trying to look at another food plot back here behind us, and ended up the 2 birds that we had roosted and went after this morning stepped out right here in front of us, and we did everything wrong, but everything right. Ended up killing probably a less subordinate bird, but nonetheless, a longbeard at that.
Longbeard in another state. First Alabama
First
bird.
Alabama bird is in the books for me. Andy didn't buy a tag, but we may go on back so we can get brownie points. I got to go to work tomorrow as opposed to just staying and hunting some more. So I'll get brownie points there at work. Andy will save some money. Andy get some brownie points maybe with his wife so we can go on more hunting trips this year. But
Thank you,
heck.
Mr. Longbeard. Old boy. Yes, sir.
Let's get out of here and go get some food.
I'm ready for the break.
Breakfast.
Yeah, eat dinner.
Hey, yeah, y'all go ahead and head down.
Hey, speaking of dinner, where's you got my pork chops ready, Lynn?
in there, pork chops,
Pork loins.
We're eating pork loins.
Or
I got the baked potatoes almost done. Pork loins.
Really?
On the grill.
I know. Hey, I know we brought him for a reason.
I know. It wasn't to kill turkeys.
Poor old Matt just had to tag along.
Oh yeah. Matt's already said, you know what? I'm the best kind of guy that you could bring. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, because I don't care if I shoot a turkey or not. I said, now I'm going to tell you something. Around this bunch here, if you let somebody jump in front of you, somebody's going to jump in front of you.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you that.
And then he said, it's going to be Andy.
Hey, I done seen one die.
Hey,
So
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen Andy do this before, and it wasn't all his fault. It's the other guy was out of position, and Andy had to take care of
That sounds like a
that
good friend
guy.
covering
You know,
for another.
That guy.
I mean, I would have done the same thing.
Hey,
well,
somebody's got to help out when in need, right?
It
Actually-
wasn't me that he did it to. I feel like I'm always in the right position.
actually, what
But
I
I
had
know
to
it
explain
happened.
to Matt on the way down here, because Matt didn't know till he got in the truck that y'all were coming. He thought we were in camp by ourselves.
I know.
Aw,
I didn't know.
that's
So-
sweet.
So anyway, so as I was explaining to him on the way down here, I said, so this is really the way this is going to work. You're going to run the camera. David's going to run the camera. And I'll probably hold the GoPro, and we're all going to film Andy.
Now, boys, don't even start.